Hello, my name is Elena Anguita. I live in Music, Pennsylvania, and by day, I'm an account executive for a company specializing in educational solutions. And really, I'm just a regular person. I'm not a metaphysician. I am not a theologian. I'm not a psychiatrist. So why is Elena Anguita seeking to have a spot at the Celebrate Your Life conference? Well, because I have an extraordinary story that I'm going to share with you. And the story began about 3.5 years ago when I was completing a mundane task of putting laundry away in my house. And while I was doing that, I was stopped dead in my tracks by this whoosh. And in my mind's eye, I saw the phrase, "a thank you a day." That whoosh was so impactful that it propelled me into action. And the action was to write a thank you note every day to a real person. And that's completely transformed my life. What I noticed immediately was whatever mood I was in before I wrote the thank you note, my mood was elevated afterwards. If I was grouchy, I was no longer grouchy. If I was happy, I was happier. And then I would embark upon my day in this happier, more elevated energy. What I also noticed immediately was any day I wrote a thank you note, something would happen that was serendipitous, or that was another reason for me to be grateful. And it was as simple as my driving to an appointment, and on my side of the highway was clear as a bell, and the other side was like a parking lot. And I would find myself saying, well, thank goodness I'm on this side of the road. And then I would say, wait a second, yesterday I got the perfect parking spot. Could there be a connection? So I started keeping track of these little serendipities into a journal in the evening. And then the serendipities became so big, I started calling them my daily miracles. So 3.5 years later, I am still doing it. I've never been more joyful, happier, or more prosperous. And one miracle in particular I do want to share with you. And it happened a few months into this practice. As you can imagine, having to write a daily thank you note to a person can be a bit of a challenge. So I was at a Marriott in the Pittsburgh area, and for the life of me, I couldn't think of my daily thank you note recipient that day. And I said, wait a second, how about the maid at the Marriott? And I said, well, sure, I'm grateful. So I composed the note that said, "Dear housekeeper, I travel a great deal with my job. I cannot tell you how grateful I am to come back to a clean and inviting room at the end of a long day. Thank you so much for all you do. Sincerely, Elena." Put it in the envelope with a couple of dollars, which I would leave anyway, and then went upon my day. When I got back to my hotel room that evening, I opened the door, and lo and behold, there's a note from the housekeeper to me. "Dear Miss Anguita," she took the time to find my name, "I cannot tell you how great it was to feel the appreciation. Thank you so much for appreciating me. Sincerely, Jessica." And I got another whoosh. I said, oh my goodness, unlike a gratitude journal, which is a wonderful practice, but that stays with the writer, this actually touches the recipient. Perhaps Jessica was in a bad mood that day, and my note made her day that much better. And it suddenly dawned on me that I had stumbled upon something fabulous, this whole pay it forward practice. And I said, I cannot keep this to myself. I must share it. I must share it with the world and help make it a better place. So I wrote a book that came out last November, Spread Thanks. I started a movement where people can practice this gratitude and make the world a more positive place and help themselves. And I have a workshop where I take the participants through my story, but also through the practice of using gratitude to change their lives and help the world. So in summary, that is my abbreviated story. I hope that I have whet your appetite enough for you to invite me to share this story with your audience in November. Thank you so much.